What's up, guys? Welcome to G Whiskey. My name's Jeff. This is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and if you stick around to the end, I'll be giving it a score as well. That sounds interesting? Hit subscribe down below, and with that out of the way, let's jump into our review. Today we're looking at the Caol Ila 18. Stick around. Alright, so we're looking at the Caol Ila 18 today, and surprisingly, this is only the second Caol Ila I've looked at on the channel. I looked at the 12 a few months back, really enjoyed that one, solid entry-level sipper, but it's funny, Caol Ila feels like a bigger presence than it is. Like they only actually have a few, I think something like 4 reasonably affordable entry-level options available. You have the 12-year-old, which, love it or hate it, I think is a bit of a classic. You have the DE or the Distiller's Edition if you want something sweeter and fruitier. There's also the malt, which I have tried before, and it didn't really stand out, but I wouldn't say it was a bad whiskey either. I might circle back around to that one someday. And of course, we have our 18-year-old here. And if you want to go beyond that and get a little bit fancier, they also make the 25-year-old, which has always been very affordable for its age. Now, it has gone up in price a little bit recently, but still relatively affordable. That's another really solid whiskey, but they don't have like this big, expansive lineup. And I guess the reason I always feel like they're around is because they're by far Isla's biggest contributor to IBs, or independent bottles. And you also have the Portiskeag line, which is basically the Caol Ila Core Range 2.0, and they also contribute a lot to a lot of these undisclosed Isla single malts. So there is plenty of Caol Ila out there in circulation, but for their regular core range, it is a Diageo product, and as such, it is subject to the laws of Diageo. So we have a lot of low ABVs, colored whiskeys, chill filtered whiskeys, etc. But because we do have all of those other options out there, it is a great distillate to get to know. You know, I've tried Caol Ila every which way, mostly thanks to the IBs, but again, just so many options out there. You know, I've tried it very young, I've tried it very old, I've tried it very mellow, I've tried it very bold. I have tried it from a cask, I have tried it from a flask, I have had it in a bar, I have had it in a car. Nope, that's not right. Don't drink and drive. Anyway, overall, Caol Ila does make good stuff. It's a great distillate, it's solid, they have some spectacular IBs, and some less than spectacular ones, but, you know, they run the gamut. As for this one, listen, I'm not an age snob, but I do love a good 18-year-old whiskey, so this one looks promising. That said, let's jump into the review and see what our whiskey is all about, and in the meantime, if you could kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. So we do have some unfortunate but also unsurprising specs here. This one comes in at 43%, it is chill filtered, and it is colored. I'm calling the police. So we have a tinted bottle, so we can't make out the color. As for the label, I like it. I think it's pretty much the same as the 12, although they did change the color scheme a little bit. I don't mind the orange, I think it looks fine. It's a very straightforward label. It's simple, it's clear. I don't really have any strong opinions here, but I do like it enough, so I'll give it 3.5 out of 5. It says mid-farb on the back, so we know it's colored. We have a little bit of like markety stuff along the front, but nothing too obnoxious. Overall, it is a Diageo product. We're not going to expect much in terms of info, and the bottle's fine. So I didn't add water. Let's try our nose. So very Caol Ila. We definitely get the house style coming through here. We have bright lemons, lemon meringue pie. Of course, we have those sort of maritime notes. We get like fishnets and brine. There's honey, there's barley, there's some crunchy autumn leaves, and we have some surprisingly gentle oak in this. The peat here is very calm, it's very mature, it's really nice. Now the palate. Okay. Light texture, light body, some honey up front, some sweetness, like a floral, earthy honey. Not too sweet though. And then we move into like sea salt, sea air, docks, that kind of thing. And you know, those honey and maritime notes give it a nice, sweet, savory character. We also have some oak in here. There's some gentle peat. There's a lot of maltiness. There's lots of barley in this. Again, really nice. And now our finish. Okay, we're getting some more like industrial, oily notes coming through here. There's some lingering lemon, earth, sea salt, malt, and gentle peat. It's a short finish. So I'd say there are some good and some bad things about this whiskey, but overall I think it works. I think if you're a fan of the Caol Ila house style and you're looking for something a little bit more mature, more civilized, more calm and restrained, this will give you what you want. Now, if you like older whiskeys and you look for older Caol Ilas, you will be able to find it, whether it's core range, IBs, whatever. But speaking personally, most of what I drink from Caol Ila is on the younger side. I might be buying the 12-year-old, I might be buying some of the more affordable Port Escagues, maybe the undisclosed Islay stuff. Whatever the case, for the most part, I tend to stick to the younger expressions. So it's pretty rare that I have a Caol Ila with a nice age to it. And damn, it's good. Now this will of course not work for you if you go in looking for a big, powerful, peaty blast. If you want another Finlagen cast strength or another Smokehead cast strength, you're going to be disappointed here. This is going to be way too soft for you. If you go in expecting a calmer, gentler, more refined Caol Ila with some age to it, this absolutely delivers. Speaking personally, I am a bit of a fancy boy. I do prefer my older peated stuff. I do like the younger stuff too when it's well done, but sometimes the peat can be too dominant and it can overwhelm a lot of the other flavors and it just tastes like too much of one thing. When you have a bit of age, it does calm that peat down, and then we have some of the other peripheral notes that start to shine through more. So for example, in this one, we've got the maritime notes, we've got the honey notes, we've got the barley notes. All of those are really coming forward. Also, I think the balance and just the overall profile here are nothing short of exceptional. I think this is a gorgeous whiskey. And honestly, it's a bit of a shame that it's 18 years old and that it's expensive because it's very Moorish. This is a whiskey I could just keep sipping. I could burn through this bottle. I love the restrained, refined peat in here. I love the honey, the maritime, the barley notes, of course. But beyond all that, I think everything in here is balanced. Everything is integrated. This is a subtle, nuanced whiskey. It's not endlessly complex, but there is plenty to explore here. And beyond all that, I mentioned this earlier, we have a beautiful, sweet and savory character here. I think that really works. I think the oak really works in here. Honestly, to me, to my palate, this is a near perfect whiskey. But it's too light. You guys knew this was coming. Of course, I'm going to bring this one up. The chill filtration, the 43%, does hold this whiskey back. This could be much oilier, richer, more engaging. Everything we need to have a great 18-year-old on our hands is here, and it's just too light. And that problem becomes especially apparent on the finish because it's a short finish. We have some beautiful flavors there, but they just fizzle out too quickly, and it's tragic because honestly, this is such a wonderful whiskey otherwise. It would have a higher score still if it was naturally presented, but even with that drawback, I'm going to land on 90 points. I think if you're the type of person that likes older, gentler peated expressions, this one definitely will work for you. Of course, be aware that it's not a beast. It's more calm, it's more refined. Speaking personally, in terms of the flavors, the profile, the balance, the character, everything's there. I think this is Caol Ila at its finest, even though it's being held back a little bit. So when it comes to value, 18-year-olds are always a little bit difficult to recommend because of course they are more expensive. Luckily, Diageo didn't do to Caol Ila 18 what it did to stuff like Talisker 18. The price didn't go through the roof. I think comparatively as an 18-year-old, this one is relatively affordable and I really like it. I would buy this again. I think it is worth the money. I think we're getting something special here. All right, that's it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to help support the channel, please consider becoming a patron. Otherwise, you can like, comment, and subscribe. That is always appreciated. And of course, I do want to hear from you. Have you tried our Caol Ila 18? What were your thoughts? Finally, down below in the comments, let me know what you want to see me review next, and I'll keep it in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.